You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, now we're here from Drakewing Gaming and something on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with another Let's Play episode of Sileo, Ty's Path. So let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Shandy, we're up and let's go. I just woke up, y'all, so if there's any reading errors, just bear with me. There's a bear. Following the recent departures, this left myself, Russell, and Logan sharing the hot springs together. Logan sat there comfortably, largely ignoring all the commotion in his immediate surroundings. Of course, when Russell decided to address him once again, he was left with little choice. Having seen Russell's success in thawing Dom's sometimes icy exterior, I was on the edge of my seat, eager to learn the arts of fruitful conversation and bonding from someone who quite clearly came across as a master of the art. So, Logan, do you, come here often? Seriously? The classic "do you come here often" line? Was that it? I got that Logan was hardly easy to talk to, but even I could have done better than that. Although, I was curious as to why Russell was being so persistent with him. Was it really that he was impressed by his allegedly extensive combat talent, or perhaps Russell was after the very same thing that I was and would serve as some healthy competition? With a scent like that, I could hardly blame him. Then again, I remembered what he'd said when we were camping. On land, he could hardly smell to save his life. Again, we were submerged, at least in part. I wondered what would happen were he to slip his nose below the surface, even just for a moment. Often? Sometimes. Most days during the tournament. I see. Gotta admit, I was feeling a little, worse for wear after the thrashing you gave me yesterday, dude. This helped. I guess that's why you come here. Although, I'm sure you, don't have any bruises on account of me. A couple from when you hit me with your tail. Really? It seemed like my tail just bounced off, my dude. If that hurt, you sure didn't show it. It seemed as though Logan was not inclined to show any sort of emotion at all. That being said, I didn't necessarily get the vibe that he was grumpy or rude. And again, Dom's words earlier also made a lot of sense to me. Maybe he was just weird. I didn't rightly know, but I intended to find out. Hey, Logan, I haven't properly introduced myself yet. My name's Hunter, and I've been meaning to say, I admired your confidence back there when you just, stripped in full view of everyone like you just didn't care. I didn't. I just wanted to get in the water. Right, gotta respect the tradition, eh, my dude? Did he really just not care? I guess he had no reason to be nervous. We were mostly all naked ourselves at the time, and here for the same reason he was. Not to mention being adorned with such incredulously fine equipment surely helped as well. If you've got it, flaunt it. He sure as hell had it. Retrieving my one-note mind from its latest digression, I regretfully conceded that my most recent attempt at sparking conversation had been little more than a complete failure. Instead, I welcomed the return of an all-too-familiar awkward silence as Russell and I scrambled to find another topic to discuss. So, you're amazed in the ring. That much is, totally clear to me, but what else do you do, my dude? Where do you work? What are your hobbies? Why are you so interested? Oh, I guess I just find you amazing is all. Kinda want to know the man behind the fight or, whatever. Logan's impenetrable expression remained entirely unfazed, as though Russell's heartfelt compliment had made no impact whatsoever. We're not bothering you, are we, Logan? If we are, we'll leave you be. We're just trying to be friendly, that's all. Another of Logan's characteristic lengthy pauses followed, and Russell and I watched on with bated breath, desperately hoping he'd respond with something, anything at all. I don't have a job. I do other things, like crafts. I sell them at markets on Saturdays and Tuesdays. Ah, so I take it that's where you were before you came here, then? The market is just down the hill where the festival was held, right? Yes. Kinda crafts, my dude. Knitting, crochet, painting. Oh, he's ultra gay. Oh my god. I think they're all kind of ultra gay. Interesting. I'll have to, totally swing by when I'm not working and check it out. So, what about the fighting, then? Is that a career or a hobby? A job. A job? I don't like fighting much. Surely you don't mean that, my dude. You're so, good at it. Bet you could totally go pro with skills like that. People always say that. Still don't like doing it. Ah, I guess you're not. You're in it for, the prize money, huh, my dude? Maybe he just likes punching guys like you in the face. Hey! Maybe a little. He smiled. I couldn't believe it. My dumb joke done purely at Russell's expense had somehow procured a reaction. Judging by Russell's face, he was about as shocked as I was. This was my opening. a shot to transition into a topic which would hopefully help to acquire information I would find more useful. Of course, I wasn't much of a conversationalist myself, so I couldn't quite be sure if my scheme would achieve the desired effect. Despite my criticism of Russell before, he was no doubt better equipped for this sort of thing than I was. I only hoped that my forthcoming attempt wouldn't wind up being embarrassing. Beneath the simmering tide, I crossed my fingers, desperately praying that my gambit would return some kind of green light. After all, I had become completely intent on pursuing him. Of course, his personality hadn't necessarily been the lure, although I certainly was curious to see how deep the rabbit hole might go. The honest truth is that my interest in Logan was so far something far more carnal, a product of raw, animalistic attraction. I had chosen my prey, and I had no intention of letting him pass me by so easily. Did you grow up in Woodcrest, Logan? Mostly. Been here since I was 3. I see. Both Russell and I just moved here ourselves. Russell came up from Somervale, moved all the way from Sidonia. Do you like living here, Logan? It's okay. Only okay? I really like it here. It hadn't been all smooth sailing. Started working somewhere in town. Long story short, I had a bit of a thing with the boss that ended badly, so now I'm newly single and down a job. Despite that, though, I still really like Woodcrest. Hey, Neil? Ugh, coffee time. What about you? I know you don't have a job or anything, but surely someone as good looking as you has to run the place like this, right? Bet you could have anybody you wanted, huh? Not really. You don't mean you're single? With that handsome face, say it isn't so. As I wrapped up my previous sentence, I couldn't help but cringe to myself, realizing the obvious similarities between my flirt and the sort that Ty would typically have employed. But that wouldn't matter so long as I received the answer to my question. Yes? Bingo. A subtle smirk spread across my face, something that Russell clearly observed before returning a look of concern, mixed with mild disapproval. Maybe it was that we were competing for the same guy, or perhaps this concern was born from another reason. Undeterred, I racked my brain for how I would then proceed. I was counting on Logan being as gay as the rest of Woodcrest seemed to be, a fact that was incredibly appealing, yet so very horrifying when put into its intended context, as Spencer had deigned to educate me on. I consider that with Logan so withdrawn and cold in response to our attempts at forging a friendship, I wouldn't have had a shit show in hell of convincing him to meet with me to enjoy some quality time. No, quality time would be more accurate. Tools of such quality would never be undersold. Thus, I set about finding a mutual hobby that the two of us could bond over. Topics like knitting and painting were a no-go, as I knew precisely nothing at all about either. Video games seemed to be a dud, given his response or distinct lack thereof when Russell and Dom had discussed them earlier. I looked him up and down, trying to imagine what someone like him would enjoy. Where would he go? What would he do? So, I was wondering, I'm new to town, like I said, and I don't know many places to eat. Any recommendations, Logan? Well, where's good? Russell's disapproval was cranked up to 11. Clearly he had seen the disastrous logic which had landed me on this topic, but it hardly seemed like he had any better ones. It was at least worth a go. There's Mamma Mia's, opposite of the fountain in town. Best pizza around. Logie's on the pier, if you like seafood. The Red Lantern in the mall. The lady is kind of mean, but the food is good. Couldn't believe it. Was I dreaming? Both Logan and Diego were scared of the lady at Red Lantern. No doubt Logan enjoyed a similar pastime of piling his plate as high as it could go. I pondered to myself whether I should introduce Logan to Diego, but nah, I wanted this boy all to myself. At least for now. That aside, the primary source of my disbelief came from that fact that my ridiculous and risky gambit was somehow paying off. I sat there, my mind awash with my indecent anticipations. Logan continued rattling off his recommendations unprompted. Something which informed exactly what my next move was going to be. I have sex with him at the buffet. No. Oh god, maybe he might. On the south end of town, on the road that leads down to Somervale, there's a place that sells cronuts. Ty's Bar sells great nachos, great chicken parmesan, too. Yeah, I think I'll give Ty's Bar a miss. What else you got? Café du Vaumond has fantastic pastries. I immediately recognized the name as being the cafe in which Jay was employed, and yet inexplicably I felt as though there was some other detail which I'd skipped over along the way. Something where I simply hadn't connected the dots. I racked my brain, desperately trying to decipher what it was. Oh, shit! I was surprised I had spoken aloud. Café du Vaumond, Sebastian du Vaumond. The surname was something entirely unique, at least in this part of the world. Neither myself, Dom, nor Diego had any clue where such a name could have come from. Surely it couldn't be a coincidence. Don't call me Shirley. I guess it made some kind of sense. If Sebastian was one of the Woodcrest's founders, naming a cafe after him hardly seemed like a strange move. Nonetheless, the fact that Sebastian bore such an uncanny resemblance to Spencer while sharing the very same initials, the gut told me it was at least worth a look. Incidentally, this fit flawlessly with my other intentions. Kind of like how the hot spring had, although I hadn't necessarily known that at the time. Nonetheless, I was very keen to hit two birds with one very well-aimed stone. Sorry, I just remember these strawberry pancakes I ate there a while back. They're super good. Did either of you want to go there for lunch after this? Sorry, my dude, I'm covering at work today. Certain somebody is band practicing and would prefer if a certain dingo was not left to run the place solo. Russell's friendly smile was undercut by a look which implied dishonesty. I didn't doubt that he had to work this evening, but the timing didn't seem right. I suspected that his reasons for declining the invitation were not as he had said. Truthfully, this worked in my favor. I wanted to spend some time alone with my precious bear, time in which I could put my very best moves to use, hoping to secure a very different sort of one-on-one time later on that same evening. Man, Hunter, you are going real fast with this. Oh well, maybe next time then. What about you, Logan? Logan did not respond right away, instead taking the time to carefully consider my proposition. Honestly, I was a little surprised it was even on the table. He hadn't seemed particularly amused by my company thus far. Sorry, I can't afford it. My heart sank a little, but I had yet to surrender. After all, not being able to afford it is an issue easily fixed. And it's my treat. Come on, you're not going to let me go all on my own, are you? Logan returned to his careful deliberation as he considered my offer with its newly updated terms. Perhaps it wasn't all that similar to Diego, after all. If he were, I'd be in the process of being dragged out of the hot springs in the direction of lunch already. Can I order a platter? A platter? How much does that cost? $49. $49? Who the heck can even afford such a thing? Where was I going to get the damn money from? I suddenly recalled a scenario from that morning. A scenario which promised either $200 of money I had not accounted for, or Diego's acceptance of my fair share. All of a sudden, with the consideration of what a mere quarter of that much would be worth, it seemed almost like it might have been a win-win situation. That was, without considering just what I have to do to settle that wager once and for all. I glanced over at Russell, who appeared relaxed and at ease as he reclined backwards lazily. I sighed, disappointed in myself for allowing things to have gotten this far. Well, I suppose it was hardly the worst thing I'd done today. I cleared my throat before finally speaking up. Hey, Russell, can I ask you a really awkward question? Awkward? What's like awkward about it, my dude? Shoot, I guess. Okay, so, Diego and I have this weird disagreement happening. He seems to have it in his head that, that's... Don't judge, my dude. Well, maybe that's, like, not entirely true, but you know what I mean. Alright, and we're gonna find out what is in... Yep, we're gonna find out what's in the next episode, y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon or YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!